we've been out here this morning, we haven't seen any officers actually leave the scene, but we have seen more come out here, and they're just trying to figure out exactly what happened. If I step out of the way here, you can see the yellow crime tape, which lines most of Bricktown right now, having most of this area closed off. Chris Walls was in his first year of teaching at Anadarko High School. Students say they understand what he was trying to do with the equation, but say the classroom is no place for lessons on marijuana. As the storm passed through, it took part of the road with it. This is a giant sinkhole on Northeast 23rd between Sooner and Midwest Boulevard. It's the latest thing to hit the campaign trail. Folks at Hubert's Brewing Company say the demand is so high, they're struggling to keep it on the shelves. Out here, the devastation is just unreal. If you look over here, you can see this is somebody's entire life played out before you. Over here, we have their TV, which now has a chair on top of it. We have a vacuum cleaner right over here, microwave, things you would normally find in a house. The only thing is their trailer completely gone, and that is the type of devastation we're seeing out here. Just spoke to firefighters who tell us 2 people were transported to a hospital after they suffered burns trying to get out of the house. Now, firefighters tell us when they got out here, this house was fully engulfed in flames. Within minutes, police found the child's parents. They were parked right here, asleep in a car, just a few feet away from the lake. Out here, like this one that we're on right now, have not been paved at all. Guys, this right here, see how slick it is? This is what you're driving on, and this is exactly why you don't want to try and go fast. Ladies, I don't know how to stop, so we're going to hand it back to you. Oh, watch out, Carrie. Students at Wayland Bonds Elementary sign banners for the victims of both Plaza Towers and also Briarwood Elementary schools. Meanwhile, teachers and principals sit down and talk with us about what happened that day.
And what was started off as a normal day at Plaza Towers turned into a horrible thing for 7 families.
Principal Amy Simpson describes Monday's storm that killed 7 students at nearby Plaza Towers Elementary. Simpson says as the storm ripped through her school, all she could do was pray.
And I said, in God's name, go away. Go away. I'd said it about 4 times.
Meanwhile, inside a 2nd grade classroom, teacher Emily Eishin huddled under a desk with students.
Just hear it getting closer and closer and closer, and literally your life flashes before your eyes.
After the deadly tornado passed, Eishin ran to help her students.
And there was this one little girl that stood up. She looked perfect, not touched. I don't even remember anything on her. And she had her hands held like this. And that was my moment of hope right there. Like, everything's going to be okay.
But then...
So when we saw the 3rd hall just collapse. We didn't hear any sounds, nothing.
Eishin says within minutes, help arrived and worked to get the students out of the building. At the same time, a few miles away, Principal Shelley McMillan was frantically searching Briarwood Elementary after the EF5 tornado leveled the school.
And I just yelled as loud as I could, I have 2nd graders trapped. Miss Jansen's room. Go to Miss Jansen's room.
Help arrived quickly, and McMillan was told everyone was accounted for.
Everyone got out alive, and I'm very thankful for that.
Despite Monday's tragedy, the school district still wants parents to know all graduation ceremonies for the high schools will still go on tomorrow at Cox Convention Center. In more, Tiffany Tatro, Fox 25 News.
The new teacher that we got this year had a math problem about so-and-so grams of weed plus so-and-so grams of weed equals something.
Students at Anadarko High School say teacher Chris Walls posed a math problem using an example of buying marijuana, cutting it with parsley, then selling it for profit.
He shouldn't have went that far into... He could have got a different example.
Walls wrote the equation on a smartboard in his freshman algebra class. A student took a picture, then brought it to the school's administration.
I don't know if he did that to try to relate to his students or if he was just crazy, but no, I don't think that's appropriate at all.
School officials confirmed the marijuana example was used in the classroom. They say Walls has resigned. Many students are glad to see him go.
When you have other people trying to get it out of the school and then him put it on the chalkboard and into class, it kind of made it where he shouldn't have done it.
What made him want to do that?
Students who knew Wall say this does not surprise them at all.
It's not shocking to me because he seemed like a Fruit Loop anyway. It was kind of weird.
I think it was kind of a bad influence.
They have to start setting an example, and where do you start if it's not, with our teachers?
Parents say the classroom is no place for a lesson in drug dealing.
I don't want my kid going out wondering, I can buy so much and this is what I can use to, no. I think he should not be able to teach, if that's what kind of teaching he's going to be teaching our children.
Go Pokes!
Go Sooners!
A never-ending rivalry.
OU, OSU. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Keeping retailers like Luis Alvarado busy.
Probably like a 60-40 split. We've been seeing a lot of people buying OU and OSU because they're both in the top 10 this year, so there's a whole lot of excitement around here.
Some fans pledge their allegiance to the school they went to.
I'm an Oklahoma State fan dating back before my children went to college, so we recruited them.
And some weren't recruited, but born into a team.
We are in here shopping for my daughter's OU onesie. See, Mommy went to OU, so we're going to cheer him on.
OU or OSU, Jason hears a lot of one thing in his store.
I hear a lot of smack talking.
Folks are going to win it this year.
We're going to go all the way.
And for those of you still on the fence, you can always go with the house divided to help keep the peace.
You do see a lot of families coming in that are mixed. They'll come in all together and they'll split up on both sides of the store. We do sell some house divided stuff too.
But for die-hard fans, that is just not an option.
I probably wouldn't be married anymore.
Whether you cheer for the Cowboys or Sooners, one thing's for sure, it's going to be an exciting season.
Any questions? All right, let's mount up. This may be the largest I've seen in 18 years.
Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics makes one of the largest marijuana busts in state history.
Plainly put, is a lot of marijuana.
OBN Director Daryl Weaver says agents found more than 7,000 marijuana plants in a wooded area about 12 miles outside Ada.
Unless you've got aircraft or something, you're not going to find this. You're not going to find this field, period.
Weaver says agents found the plants after flying over in a helicopter. He says when his ground team finally made their way through the rough terrain, they found not only the pot, but also campsites. Weaver says this is the work of people who know what they're doing.
They didn't come out here just one day and decide to grow dope. These are people that's done it before.
Captain Steve Cash with the Chickasha Light Horse Police assisted in the bust. Cash says the details and planning that went into growing these plants is like nothing he has seen before.
Somebody went through a lot of work to get water out here, irrigation systems in place.
Captain Cash says officers found hoses and pumps near the marijuana. He says holes were dug to get water from one place to another. Captain Cash says these plants had been growing about a month and were close to harvest. Now, OBN says there is potentially millions of dollars worth of marijuana out here, and these guys have a tough job ahead of them. They have the task of getting it all out of here.
We're going to cut them and haul them out of here.
Weaver says since the state is under a burn ban, they can't light the field on fire.
We will dispose of them properly. There's no doubt that the bad guys can't get their hands on it.
Weaver says whoever grew the plants got away before his guys got there.
So we're after them. Hopefully we'll make some arrests.
He says while the seizure is a huge success, OBN's work is not done.
We're going to stay after the marijuana growers. We're not going to allow it in our state.